What we're doing is our committee had a meeting about a week and a half ago, and we said, well, look, we don't want to air this program on CBN and then have somebody else narrate what we believe in regard to Daniel chapter 2. Although I will say, I mean, Daniel chapter 2 is so simple. I don't know how you can take it out of context, but you know, we didn't want to just leave that out there. So we contacted the producer back and we said, look, we're interested in doing this, but we want to narrate this story. Okay, we don't want to just leave it to you to tell it. We want to narrate it ourselves. And so this week, we're going up to Canada to start the narration of this story that will eventually be put on CBN, that will be seen by potentially millions of people, Lord willing. Now, I will say this. This could go through the whole CBN editing process, and once it gets to the network, they could say no. I mean, you know, anything's possible. And that's how it works in the TV business. You know, producers produce certain things, but sometimes they don't make it on. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go forward with this, and it's going to take time, money, and time. Time is money. And so so keep this in mind as we move forward. And once again, I just don't know any other way to get this out there, because we're sort of going backwards, right? And at the rate that we're going, for those of you that saw the statistics, I mean, we've had pretty much a negative growth. Even though we've grown, the world population has far, far outpaced what we've been able to achieve. And when you think, I mean, and we're just talking about, you know, people that, you know, are from a Judeo-Christian Islamic background, and when you go to places like China and India, and especially China, where they've, you know, over 1 billion people, and most of them, they have never heard about any of this kind of stuff. So how are we going to reach these people? And how are we going to do it in a quick, short amount of time? Because we see that what's going on in the world, I mean, things are falling apart all over the place. You know, plagues and disasters and diseases and just earthquakes and all these different things. Just the earth is languishing and just falling apart. Not to mention, you know, the nuclear radiation thing. How many people have heard about what's going on down here at the Hannaford place here, where where the radiation, that's where we built a lot of our nuclear weapons, and we stockpiled all this nuclear waste there. And I guess 50, 60 years ago, we didn't really think about it, and we just put the nuclear waste in these metal drums, and you know what's happened to the drums? They've deteriorated, and the nuclear waste has gone into the ground, and it's got into the water table, and it's making its way to the Columbia River. And you know where it's going to make it from the Columbia River? Into the Pacific Ocean. And so what you have is, you know, the Pacific Ocean has this pattern like this, like a, you know, it's just like a whirlpool. You know, it just goes around the east coast of Asia, and then comes around the Azores and back down the coast of California like this. And so you've got now radiation percolating to the ocean from the United States and from Japan, and it's going everywhere. Friends, all the fish in the sea are going to die. Did you know that?
City in Washington?
It's not a city. It's a nuclear waste facility called Hanford. It's like a 400 square mile government nuclear facility where we built nuclear weapons. There's one here on the west coast, and the one on the east coast is at Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Those are the two spots where they built these weapons. And I guess 60 years ago, they didn't think we'd be here maybe, and I don't know. But, I mean, those are just some things right there. I mean, it's just all over the place. Toxicity and, you know, levels of mercury and all these things. I mean, everything is just becoming contaminated and languishing. And
What's the one
Oak Ridge. Bill Taylor used to live about a mile as the crow flies from the spot where they built the nuclear weapons there.
Ground Zero.
Ground Zero, yes.
Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Yes. So, things are moving, and what are we doing? Because in order to be delivered, we need to give the warning, and that's a heavy weight when you really think about it. In order for us to be delivered, we have to warn others, and we don't want to be in that group of people where the people say, "You knew. I was your neighbor. I was this. You saw me all the time. You never said anything to me." Yes.
I thought you were putting a pamphlet together on that. Yeah.
We are, but it's going to be a video one.
Oh, I thought we were doing a paper one too, like a brochure type.
Well, that might be, but we feel that getting a video out, a documentary video that spells out, and friends, I've given the testimony before. We had, the last time I was there in Nashville a few months ago, we had cameras set up and everything, and lights and all this kind of stuff, and it looked like, Eyewitness News was there to do some kind of reporting. And I've never in all my life seen anything like this. And that was this. And I'm not saying this to poke at women, okay? Don't get me wrong. But for whatever reason, when you set up these cameras and you have these lights going on, certain young ladies, it's like a moth to the flame. I don't know if they think it's their 5 minutes of fame or something like that, but it just draws these. And so we had these cameras set up, and there was these 3 young ladies, and I was doing a presentation, and the guys told me, "Hey, there's some girls behind you, and they're in your shot." And so I just...
Like on that video.
Yes. And so I kindly walked over to these 3 young ladies, and I said, "Hey, just wondering if you can sort of, move out of the way a little bit, because we're doing a little documentary here, and if you don't move, you're going to be in the documentary." And they're like, "Well, what is the documentary?" Okay. And so I said, "Well, it's a documentary on the destruction of Nashville." How many people have ever heard this testimony from me?
No, not this one.
You've heard it? Oh, you guys, can I show you on the whiteboard?
I heard the one that you were in a cafe or something.
Yeah, this is a different one though. Okay? Now, I'm going to draw myself as a stick figure. This is a dream of mine, okay? So here's me. And the cameras are over here and everything.
Can you do it black?
Nope. Don't have black.
Professor never leaves anything.
Is there a black one there? Well, you know what, Bill? I thought about bringing the black one today. Let me see here. Maybe we have something here. How's that?
Professional never leaves anything.
Yes, okay. So here's me in the future, okay? But this is about the past. So these 3 young ladies are standing next to each other. Okay, well, let's see here. And sorry for the, so they're standing next to each other like this, and I'm talking to them. And I said, "Oh, we're doing a documentary on the destruction of Nashville." Nashville's going to be destroyed? Yeah, it's going to be destroyed. Do you live here? And they said, "No, but our friend does. We're here visiting her."
We were here visiting.
And I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." And they said, "How is it going to be destroyed?" And that's when I told them about the ball of fire. I'll do this. And I explained to them about the ball of fire, and I explained to them about the Parthenon, which we were standing in front of, right? And that's literally how we were. The Parthenon is right behind us while we're talking. And I said, not only is this ball of fire going to come down, that's the building that it's going to hit.
Isn't that the building that looks like
The Greek temple?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Right? So here's all these pillars here.
Yeah.
And so,
Isn't it the Museum of Music or something?
no, it's they have art in it. But as I'm telling them this story, if I was hearing this for the first time and I had no idea about this, I would be saying what, when, how, who, what's your evidence, and all this kind of stuff, right? And so, but they're not doing that. They're just accepting it. And so, what? So what happens is, these two young ladies that are visiting their friend in college, and she goes over to Vanderbilt University. And Vanderbilt is right here. So we're right here. And so these two young ladies move away from her, and they stand next to me.
Literally that happened?
That happened. And now we're all looking at her together as a group. And they, not me, are saying to her, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave Nashville now? I've never seen anything like it. So you know what this reminded me of? Jonah. How many of you ever thought about the story of Jonah, right? And Jonah walks into Nineveh. That's why our video series is going to be called Nineveh to Nashville. He walks into Nineveh and he says, this city is going to be destroyed. And you know what really surprised Jonah? Is that the people actually listened. Friends, that's supernatural. You just don't walk into a city and say, this city's going to be overthrown, and everybody's like, uh-oh, let's change our life, and let's do this and let's do that. Now they're telling this young lady right here to leave college, leave Nashville, and go somewhere else. And I just met them, and they've never heard anything about this.
Wow.
Yes.
When they asked her if she was going to move, what did she say?
She just shrugged her shoulders and said, I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? This is very unbelievable. Absolutely.
Surely if it was happening, everybody would know about it. So why don't you take them to make a big move?
And because of the confidence in the story and the faith in the prophecy, this was conveyed to these two people to where they were telling her, get out of Dodge before it's too late. Because you only live within a mile of this place, and the prophecy says that this place is going to be destroyed. Incredible. I still can't believe it.
Are they going to tell?
Huh?
How many other people are they going to tell?
Yeah, I don't know. But what's that? Okay, the restaurant one. You guys have heard the restaurant one. Do you mind if I tell it again? Okay. So we had a camera crew, and soon, friends. So you saw just a smattering of some of the stuff that we did in New York, and soon we'll have a video ready of what we did in Nashville. Okay, very similar, but we've got to go back to Nashville and get more footage. So we had a camera crew here. It wasn't just me by myself, but we had a camera crew. And I think that that's part of what gave gravitas to them believing it so quickly. So we went to lunch, same day actually, and we went to this Thai restaurant. How many people like Thai food? In fact, the reason why we went to the restaurant is we were inspired from Bill Taylor. You see, the day before, we were in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we had gone to Bill Taylor's favorite Thai restaurant there in Tennessee. And I said, in honor of Bill Taylor, let's go eat at this restaurant. And at this restaurant, they had these little vegetarian, they're like an egg roll, but it's, what is it? They're not cooked, they're raw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the vegetables are in there, and the avocado is in there. Very fresh, and they had this peanut sauce. You kind of dip it in. Well, they were so good. You know what I'm talking about, right, Phil? They were so good. So we were still dreaming of the food we had yesterday. And so when I said, hey, let's go out to lunch, they said, let's go Thai again. So let's see if we can find another Thai restaurant. So we went to downtown Nashville, and we found this Thai restaurant. And believe it or not, they were so good again at a different restaurant. Okay? So we're sitting around this big table. Let's see how many of us was. 2, 4. There was 5 of us. And so we're sitting at this table, and we're very friendly. And the people, for some reason, that worked at the restaurant sort of gravitated to us. What are you guys doing? Why are you here in Nashville and everything? And we did the same thing. We said, well, we're here making a documentary. Oh, really? What? A country music or something? No, on the destruction of Nashville. Same thing, right? So here's what happens. Nashville is going to be destroyed. And I'm sorry for those of you that have ever been to a restaurant with me. Sometimes I lose reality with how high my voice goes because I'm always speaking and everything. And so I'm speaking really loud in this restaurant about the destruction of Nashville. And what do you think's happening? The whole restaurant's listening.
I don't think that was an accident. I think God.
So we start telling the story again. Nashville's going to be destroyed. Well, the lady who was working there at this Thai restaurant, she was actually not Thai, she was from Cambodia. And so we said, yeah, this is what's going to happen. This is why. I said there was this prophet. I talked about all the things that the prophet has seen, from the health message to how cancer is by viruses and all this kind of thing. And I talked about how she foresaw the great building of New York being destroyed, kind of building up this gravitas. And you know what she said? I am moving from Nashville.
Wow.
That's what she said. I'm moving from Nashville. And listen, friends, this lady was a Buddhist. She wasn't even a Christian. And she's like, I believe this is going to happen. And I believe that there are prophets. She's like telling all this stuff, right? Yeah. That's what I'm going to share next. So first of all, I want to share this with you. So the state of Tennessee, and I know I'm not doing it justice, but it looks sort of like this. And so all the way on the west is Memphis, in the east is Knoxville, and right about in the center, right there, is Nashville, okay? That's the center. I'm just gonna do it as a dot, okay? Just a little dot right here, Nashville. So, and those of you that have seen the state flag of Tennessee, it looks like this. A circle in the middle, and there's 3 stars, right? Like that ball of fire. Now, these 3 stars represent the 3 geographic terrestrial landscape of Tennessee. So in the east, you have this mountainous, like Piedmont area, okay, in the east. And then you have this sort of upper high plateau, they call it. Thank you, former Tennessean there. So this is Piedmont Plateau, and then this is what? Plain? Just flat. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, and those are represented by the 3 stars right here. Okay? But I think it actually is something else. Let me explain. I'm going to take these little areas right here. So it turns out that Tennessee and Texas both start with a T. I just think that's a coincidence. But anyway, both states, Tennessee and Texas, have 3 meteor craters. Now, if you go to Arizona, you'll see one of these big meteor craters, and it's like, no, it's not at the Grand Canyon. It's like a mile wide, okay? And it's like in a desert region, so there's no vegetation out there or anything. Go online and look at this thing. It's a mile wide. Do you realize what kind of explosion it takes to make a mile wide crater? I mean, everything within 100 miles is dead. I mean, it's just, you're done, okay? So what happens is, and what is a meteor? What's another saying for it? By the way, I want to say this. I was here, 2 weeks ago? Here? 2 weeks ago? The night after I left here, I had to go over to Home Depot and pick up something. And I was sitting in the parking lot, and I was looking, and you know how when you're in the parking lot of Home Depot, and you're looking to the west, and then there's the mountain right there, and the ski resort and all this kind of stuff. And we're kind of almost due west of Home Depot, right here. And I was looking, and you know what happened? It was really cool. I've seen several of them like this. A ball of fire streaking across the sky, and it went down, because it was still a little bit of light out, it went down below the mountain, and it's like this ball of fire. It was a falling star. And I've seen, remember that time we were in the backyard of my sister's house? Right after my mom died, and there was this really large ball of fire that shot across the sky, and it was like, people called up the police. It was like a big deal. Anyway, this was a falling star. That's what we call when we see one, and we say, oh, look, a shooting star, right? Okay, so a meteor is a shooting star. So there are these 3 impact craters. And where do you think they all are? They're right around Nashville, just like this. And I think one of them is about 7 miles in diameter. Now, you know why you can't really see it? Yeah, because what happens is, this is a very lush area. You know, Tennessee is a very green state. And all this vegetation is in these impact craters, and it's not like in Arizona in the desert where you can really still see it. You can be in the crater and not know it. It's like kind of being at Yellowstone, right? When you go to Yellowstone National Park, you're in the middle of a 50-mile caldera of a volcano. Did you know that? It's a giant caldera. But unless you see somebody show you on a map from up high, you don't know that you're in a caldera of a volcano. And this is what the deal is. So, huh?
I don't think I'm going to go visit.
Beautiful place, though. But that's why there's those geysers and everything there, because the magma and everything is very close to the surface. So here's Nashville. You have these 3 falling star meteor craters that are placed in this triangle around the city that mimics what's on the flag, right? And then let's take the flag away. And then what happens is, when the Tennessee Titans move to Nashville to be the football team there, what's our logo going to be? Now, what's interesting is, their logo has nothing to do with football. It doesn't even have anything to do with their mascot, the Titans, right? So the guy that's designing it, he goes, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these 3 stars, put them in the circle, just like on the flag, and I'm going to turn this thing into a burning ball of asteroid fire. And that's going to be our logo. So I was explaining this at the restaurant, and have you ever been to a restaurant, you hear dishes and forks clanking and all this kind of stuff? Well, we're talking about this in the restaurant and talking about this logo. And I said to one of the guys, I said, Kay, can anybody pull this logo up on your smartphone? There was a lady on the other side of the restaurant. She had been listening to this. She threw her forks down and jumped out of the table. The table's making all kinds of noise. Dishes are clanking and everything. She's got high heels on. And she comes running across the restaurant because she wants to see this logo because she's been listening to this story. I want to see, and she's like yelling. So we show this logo here, right? And the lady that said, I'm moving, I'm leaving, the lady, the Buddhist lady, she says, and we didn't even pick up on this, okay? We're just like affixed on this logo. And she then says, this, these 3 impact craters are really what's represented on this thing right here. And this one right here represents the big one that's going to land right in the middle. And that's what's coming on Nashville. And she says, this is no coincidence. And she goes, and then she starts like prophesying, and we're like, wow. I mean, not only has she taken the ball, she's running with it, so to speak. And people are like, wow, wow, wow. When we got done at that place, we were saying, wow, 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 too. Because, listen, friends, would you ever accept this stuff? Let's think about this. If you're just walking on the street and you're just not a Christian, you don't have anything to do with religion, you don't read the Bible, anything, and 5 guys come in off the street and tell this story, are you really going to believe this stuff? I don't think so normally, but I think there's something supernatural about this story. Yes?
Well, I also think because we're Adventists and we've gotten so used to being scared of hearing other prophecies and other strange, things, and we know what truth is. But to the average person that doesn't read the Bible, that doesn't study out these things, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They're actually more susceptible to taking something and going, whoa. Like where we live in Kettle Falls, there's this Indian tribe, and the tribe leader, the chief, is telling all of his tribe members to move above a certain elevation because he says this certain dam's going to break, and it's been prophesying, and there's people waking up and taking action because of this. But because of us knowing prophetic things, we're very leery of hearing prophetic things. But people that don't know prophetic things, I think they're a lot more susceptible to taking that on.
Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that Kettle Falls is false?
Well, so that's what he said.
Yes. And you know what? With all the different things that are happening, I mean, Christine and I were talking about this the other day. There's a nuclear power plant in California, and where do you think they put it? No, they put it right on the ocean, just like the one at Fukushima. And is that where it is? I mean, and it's in an earthquake zone and all. It's like you're building all these things in the worst possible places. I mean, it's like
Being done on purpose.
it's certainly not wise.
Is it operating now?
It is, yeah. There's only one operating left in California. So the situation is this, friends. There's power in this message, and we're shocked. I mean, I cannot be more shocked of how, because we weren't I'm not going to say we weren't enthusiastic, but we were like sharing these things kind of like, yeah, they're never going to believe this. And when they would say these things, we were like, wow, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Can you believe people are willing to accept this like this? And so what we want to do, and what we're endeavoring to do, is put together this documentary laying out the evidence as to why they should believe this, okay? And there's some amazing facts, statistics, and all these things that we're going to cram in there and do it in a very short amount of time. But it's going to, it's going to take over an hour though, because we got a lot of facts. But we want to put it in such a way that it's going to capture people's attention. And then here's what we want to do. Is it okay to erase this? Okay. We want to get this video done. And here's where some of the money is going to come in. For those of you that have been in the southern United States, it's like the billboard capital of the world. Everywhere. All around the South. Okay? And so this is great because we want to have, the skyline of Nashville, Tennessee. There's the skyline. And this would be at like dusk. And when we have this meteor shooting across the sky like this, right? And then have the words up there, what's coming on Nashville? Sort of like I did in the PowerPoint presentation. What's coming on Nashville? And then we'll have our internet address where people can go and get the video and stuff like this. And we want to put these billboards up all around Nashville, Tennessee. And because Nashville, Tennessee it's like a hub of interstates. I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 interstates and they all like intersect right in there. And this is a main hub. So if you're traveling north to south, east to west, you got to go through Nashville. And we want to, of course, give the warning out in Nashville, but this warning is for everybody. By the way, did you know that Nashville is fast becoming like the Hollywood of the East?
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just growing in leaps and bounds. Property values are going up. It's become very cosmopolitan, very trendy, all this kind of thing. I mean, no, I don't want to put anything off. Everybody has their role to do. But let me just say this once again, according to 9T of the testimonies, everybody that heard the warning message is under the same what? Responsibility, obligation. Okay? Yes, so friends, we're running out of time. And when I talk about we are running out of time, our time, our clock and our probation is tied to these events. You understand what I'm saying? We have got to get out and give the warning. Now we need to think differently about our neighbors, our friends, the people at the gas station, all these kind of things. And you might not be long-winded like me. That's okay. You can give out books, pamphlets, whatever. No time to lose now. These books are to go out like the leaves of autumn. It's time. Yes?
How much does each one of the billboards cost?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, what is that? What do they say in real estate? Location, location, location. So I guess the prime locations are higher, but I'm not exactly sure. We do also have another plan for New York City. Yes. So it's going to be very simple. It'll have the app, the website, and it's just going to be what's coming on Nashville. That's it. Very simple. And what is coming on Nashville? Maybe I should go on that site.
Maybe you should do the papers or the things in the form of the asteroid.
Yeah, all good ideas. All good ideas. Now we said that we would play this video again here.
The one you showed at first.
The one we showed at first that some folks missed. Hi, this is our update from Times Square. We're working on the project and we've been interviewing people. We want to give some footage of what people know about Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar, and have they ever heard about the things that we intend to be showing them or to talk about. We take for granted these truths of Daniel chapter 2. but the world has not heard of these things. The vast majority of people that are in the earth right now have never heard anything like this before. So we're here, we're interviewing people, we're talking to people from all around the world, and we want to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what people think, what they know, and so that we can show it to you out there what's happening on. So stay tuned and watch the results. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Sarojan, I'm from Kazakhstan.
My name is Mallory and I'm from Brentwood, California.
My name is Mariah. I'm from Discovery Bay, California.
I'm a Kazakh student. I'm from Kazakhstan, but I was born in Uzbekistan, and I'm here.
I'm Tessa. I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm Anouk. I'm also from the Netherlands.
What part of Alaska?
Southern Kenai Peninsula.
I'm from India. My name is Mohammad Al Tamash Kabir.
From Belgium.
Oh no, from England, London.
We're from Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden too.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions, okay? And it's okay if you don't know the answer. Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
No.
Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
No.
I can't say that I have.
Okay. Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
No, I didn't. No, I don't. No.
Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah. I've heard the word.
I've heard the name or word or whatever it is, but I don't know what it means.
Do you know what it is?
Isn't it like... I forgot.
No?
I don't know what it is.
Muhammad, have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
No.
Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
No, never.
No?
No.
Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
Of what?
Have you ever heard of Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah, the first time when you said it.
Have you ever read the Bible?
What's the Bible?
Have you ever heard of the Bible?
No.
A book called the Bible?
A Bible? Yes, I have ever read.
Have you ever read the Bible?
Yes, okay.
You have?
In Russian. Yes.
In Russian. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Have you guys ever read the Bible before?
I say I don't know how to say it in English.
I don't know what you call it here.
Yeah. But yeah, a little.
Actually, no, I haven't. But no, I haven't actually.
Have you ever read the Bible before?
I have, yes.
A little bit.
A little bit. Have you ever read the Bible?
Have I ever read about? Yes, I'm Catholic.
Okay.
Parts of it.
Have you ever read the Bible before?
To be honest, no.
No.
Never read the Bible? Have you ever heard any Bible stories before?
Yeah.
In school?
At school?
Yes.
They talk about it at school in Belgium?
Yes.
They're not allowed to talk about that here at school in America.
Really?
No. Have you ever read the Bible?
Sometime. The Bible? Good question. No.
Have you ever heard of somebody that lived a really long time ago named Daniel?
Not a particular one.
Heard of somebody that lived a long time ago named Daniel?
Lived here.
Well, lived in the Middle East a long time ago. Daniel?
I don't think
No? No Daniels come to mind?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of somebody that lived a long time ago named Daniel?
No. No.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a famous person that lived a long time ago named Daniel?
Yeah. Yeah, like Bible Daniel, but
Bible Daniel? Okay. Ever heard of a really famous person that lived a long time ago named Daniel?
Maybe there's a lot of famous Daniels.
No? No? Okay. Okay, have you ever heard of the prophet Daniel?
Daniel? No.
Have you ever heard of the prophet Daniel?
Prophet Daniel? No.
Daniel is a prophet.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
you remember him now? And Nebuchadnezzar was the king in the story. Is that bringing back memories? No? All right. What's
Not a very good Catholic.
You're not a very good Catholic?
No.
All right. Okay. I'll make a last easy. Should be an easy question, right? Have you ever heard of the Ten Commandments?
Ja. 10 geboden. In Dutch is de 10 geboden.
Okay, very good.
Yeah?
Can you repeat that again?
No. 10 geboden.
Okay. Okay.
Can name them all.
Can you name any of them?
don't steal.
Help your naaste. Help
the
other people.
Help other people.
Help other people. Yeah, that's
Be good to another.
yeah, it's kind of in there. Any other ones?
No.
Don't cheat on your wife, right?
That is. Ding, 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 ding. Don't commit adultery. Okay. Have you ever heard of the Ten Commandments?
Yeah.
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 Okay, do you know any of them?
No.
It was too long. We were in school.
Yeah. Never steal? No. I don't know.
Don't steal. That is one. That is one. Oh, can you think of anything else?
I think it's about lying. Never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's another one. Don't bear false witness. Come on, I can squeeze one more out of you.
Oh.
No, I don't think.
I don't know.
It would be bad to kill. It would be bad to kill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Things and stuff. Have you ever heard of the Ten Commandments?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you know it in Dutch? Okay. Do you know any of them?
She knows them all.
Don't swear? I don't
Don't steal.
Don't swear.
Don't swear. Any others? Don't lie. Yeah. That's two. All right. That's pretty good. That's good.
That's true.
All right. What was the third one?
Don't swear.
Don't swear. Well, there's one that says don't take the name of the Lord in vain. That's pretty close. We'll give her that one. Have you ever heard of the Ten Commandments?
Yes,
Do you know any of them?
some of them.
Which ones do you know?
None.
All right, thank you. You've been great, man. We didn't have to go out of our way to find people that have never heard of Nebuchadnezzar. They have never heard of Daniel. Many people have never even heard of the word Bible before. The Bible, what's that? If we could bring some light into this place, if we could bring this image into a place like this, it would certainly capture the attention of people, and they would ask questions. What is this? What is this all about? I tell you, I don't know of anything else that would even come close in a place like this to getting people to ask the question, what's this all about? We need to do this. When you come here, when you spend time with these people, your heart just aches for them. You want to just give everybody here a Bible study. And that's what we can do through this image of Daniel chapter 2. By the thousands, by the tens of thousands, by the millions. Friends, let's just come together and get this project done. Pray about it, about how you can contribute to getting this done, to getting the message out to every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. I just can't overemphasize how important it is to get the message out here in New York City, because it's truly the case that if we can reach New York, we can touch the world. Thank you.